Hello everyone, my name is Ignatius Kevin Gilbert Situmorang. In this video, I'm gonna present you about observation different types of amylum. This practicum held on Polytechnic Sriwijaya Laboratory on 10 November 2020. Introduction to microscope and amylum. Microscope. Microscope comes from the language Yunani, micros, the means is little, and the scopein, the mean is see. So, the definition of microscope is a tool that used to see the micro things that we can see. Microscope have different type and function too, that is, like microscope, electron microscope, and other. Amylum. Amylum or starch is carbohydrate complex that can solute in water. White powder, tasteless, and odorless. There are so many starch such as rice starch, potato starch, and other. So, this slide is tell you about microscope parts and the function. On the right your screen, you can see the table of the part name and their function. And the left on your screen, you can see the example of microscope picture. I can tell you about the table because the time is limit. So, the next is the tools and materials. In this practicum, we use tools, microscope, object glass cover, drop pipette, mortar and alu, and the materials we use is potato starch, rice starch, corn starch, and cassava starch. The next is procedures. The first, prepare for different kinds of starch, namely potato starch, rice starch, cassava starch, corn starch, by cutting them into small pieces. The second, mash until smooth in mortar and add enough aqueous until the starch is separated. The third, after the starch is separated, take the starch using a dropper, then drop into an object glass and close with the cover glass. The last and the finally is observe the starch using the microscope. So after we doing all the procedures, we get the observation data is like on your screen. It's so amazing. As you can see, the example picture we have for the number one, Amylum oryzae or rice starch have a single or compound multiple round grain and hilum not clearly visible and contains lamella. For Amylum zeamase L or corn starch have multi-angle square grain and a hollow hilum and contains lamella. For Amylum manihot utilissima or cassava starch have single grain, slightly rounded and are multifaced. For Amylum solanum tuberosum L or potato starch have consist of a single oval grain and hilum on the marginal and lamella clearly visible. Data analysis. In this practicum, we identify the form of the 4 different starch with a microscope magnification for 5 times, 10 times, 20 times, and 40 times. After we observe the starch from through the microscope, we found the result that the 4 starch had a different shapes and clearly to see in the different magnification too. So, for the discussion, how can the 4 stars have a different types and why form of stars have different magnification? The reason the 4 stars can have a different type is based on the location of the hilar and lamella in the starch grains. The hilum is the starting point for the information of stars, while the lamella are the fine lines that surround the hilum. So, the reason the form of stars have different magnification is due to the difference in the carbohydrate content in the starch. The bigger the starch form, the more carbohydrate content, and the smaller the form of starch, the carbohydrate content is smaller too. So, we can conclude is, for the first, the main tools in the microscope used for observing are the objective and ocular lenses. The second, differences in starch are based on the location of the hilum. And the third, starch is not only used an energy source but also has other uses. Thanks for watching. This is the end of my video. Thank you.